Go. Hey now, what's happening, guys? Little something special today. I'm here with my good buddy, president of the Shrimpers Association in South Carolina, Captain Rocky Magwood. Cap,
Good to see you,
thanks for
bud.
talking to us. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Let's start off with how'd you get out? How long you been out here? How'd you get into this?
Well, it's a family tradition, and it's a funny thing to say that because there's a lot of country music behind that. But
Right,
um,
some Hank Williams Jr. right
yeah,
there.
my family's been in the fishing industry over almost about 100 years,
All right,
and
man.
it's a very traditional type thing to me. And a follower. I'm a fourth generation commercial fisherman, and my son is a fifth generation, and we're all named the same. And
Right.
my real name is Clarence Magwood. You probably
Okay.
didn't even know
I
that.
did not know that.
But it comes from a long generation of us working, shrimping and fishing our lives, and how much enjoyment you get to being in the ocean and doing something and bringing fresh seafood back to Shem Creek and
Right?
the same place that your family's been at for over 100 years.
Man, that is way cool. We're on Shim Creek, by the way. How long? So you pretty much been doing this your whole life, pretty
My whole
much.
life, there's a lot of talk around it. The first time I stepped on a shrimp boat, I didn't step on it. My mother and my father brought me on a boat at 6 weeks old,
Man.
and they a lot of jokes of the old fishermen around here. They'll tell you that I grew up in a fish box and my head's not right.
They probably say the same about me, but that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah, and it's just been a great way to live and do something that your family's been so passionate about,
Right?
and to have this community in Charleston here is very passionate about shrimping,
Yes, we are.
and to have people like you and different people come out and support us, and it means a lot to us, and
Right? Yeah, man. Well, what y'all do means a lot to us as well, man. Like this is our heritage, pretty much that you're keeping alive by
mm-hmm.
doing this. Captain Rocky was actually probably the first captain I ever had. I did some crabbing before I got to him. In the summer of eighth grade and the summer of ninth grade, I worked the back deck for him, not on this boat, but on a shrimp boat. So Rocky was pretty much my
Yeah,
inspiration coming up to make me the captain that I am today. So
yeah,
thanks.
and I have a pretty cool kick for you. Is the Stargazer and this hull are exact same kind of hull.
Oh
They're made
man.
in Savannah, Georgia,
All right.
solid fiberglass boats. But the kicker is this boat was made from the same hull as that boat was.
Oh
This one
man.
was just made a little later, and
Right.
they extended the hull and made it a 56-foot boat, and that boat was a 50-foot boat.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely didn't know
So
that. So almost the same boat.
yeah, it's almost.
So your family's been on Shim Creek pretty much, let's call it almost 100 years
Yeah,
of
I would say
doing
100
shrimping.
years on shrimping and oystering in Charleston.
All right, well that's cool. Why don't you tell us like the average day of shrimping? Like what time you start in the morning and that kind of
We
stuff.
used to start. We used to leave the docks around 3:30 in the morning, and now that it's gotten to where there's not that much competition, we don't leave. We try to leave the dock around 5.
Okay, so kind of around
Yeah,
sunset for the
yeah,
most
and we'll
part,
get
or sunrise. Yeah.
sunrise. Yeah, and we'll get out there and we'll set out right around sunrise because the shrimp are usually on the bottom and the fish are till the sun rises.
Right.
Once the sun rises, the fish scatter and the shrimp will still be there, and
Okay.
so it gets the bycatch of our industry because we don't want to catch anything but shrimp,
Right.
and that's what we've learned.
So it
And
kind of gets the other shit out of there.
yeah, and it gets the bottom
Okay.
where it's
Cool.
open, and it's way different than what it was when we started. We used to
Right.
all race each other. I mean,
Yeah, I remember that, man. We
some
were leaving early.
yeah, and some of the places we worked at, I tell people like we work on Mars Island right around Charleston, and you go out there and there'd be 60, 70 boats. You want to be the first one trawling,
Right.
right at time, and you you would do a lot of sketchy things to get out there in front of everybody. And
All right.
you'd be on a 50-foot boat to a 70-foot boat, and you get out there and you'd race, and it was a competition, and that's part of what I do miss about shrimping because it was so competitive.
Right.
And now we're competing with other problems, but it's all still fun. I
Right.
mean, the
No.
thing
Yeah.
is shrimping. You get on a shrimp boat and you come. I tell anybody you want to come and enjoy, go for a day on a shrimp boat, come and ride with me
All
because
right.
I've had two people in the last couple months ago that I carried out to do some filming and stuff, and they ended up seasick, and I didn't get to tell them that they needed. If you think you're going to get seasick,
It
please
takes
take some Dramamine because
before.
yeah, because you take it on the boat, it's not going to work. But if you take it the day before, you
Right.
get it in your system, it'll work. And the shrimp boats just ride different than a regular boat.
They really
And
do.
but I've had people go with me to get seasick. I mean, terrible. These guys that went with me, it was terrible seasick, and they told me we'd love to come back.
All
We'll
right.
just take the medicine. And I've never had anybody tell me that they didn't want to come back.
Oh no, yeah, no. I'm going to definitely have a video of actually working with him in the near future. So okay, so start early. And what time do you usually come back in? Four or
It,
five
we
afternoon,
try we
maybe.
try to get back around 3,
Okay, cool.
and we try to do 2 drags, maybe 3. It depends on how good it is.
Mm-hmm.
We've shortened our tow days up, our tow time for trawling. We've shortened them up to 2 hours, mostly because we want the shrimp to be the freshest we can, to get the guys to get them up and get them on ice quick as possible,
Right.
to get them out of the heat and get them prepared for going to a customer.
Right.
And we've learned that the way we do that is we make shorter tows, and we try to get 2 tows is plenty usually. And we come in and we'll come in the harbor and clean up the boat, and we'll get to the dock. Sometimes we have stuff left over on the deck that we're getting up and dealing with that kind of stuff. But it's around 3 to 3:30.
Okay, and then right from the boat directly to the customer. Is that how you do
We
it?
have customers that meet us here in the
At the
parking
dock.
lot.
All
Yeah,
right.
and we've had to go to, now that there's new owners of the restaurants that we tie up behind.
Right.
We've had to get them to meet us in parking lots, like
Okay.
at the car wash here on Coleman Boulevard. But we have the shrimp ice down in the bags that they want,
Okay.
and coolers, and we just slide them, pull the bag out and give them to them.
All right, that's cool.
But we weigh it all here on the boat, and we have it ready to go.
So like pretty much as fresh as it can get for the most part.
Yeah, and if you come down, like usually sometimes the shrimp, like we're dragging real close to here.
Right.
The shrimp would have been going to a person in less than an hour and a half.
Man, that don't get any fresher than that. Yeah, well, tell us about being president of the Shrimpers organization.
Well, it's a big passion of mine to be the president of the Shrimpers Association because the main thing is my biggest goal is to do at this job is to make sure that I don't lose another shrimp boat because the person can't sell their product.
Right.
I want to make sure that these people understand that people that own these boats and are working these boats, they're family to me.
Right. I get that.
Anywhere on the East Coast. And it doesn't matter. Boat people are boat people. We're all together.
Right.
But the thing is getting the community that we have of these shrimpers now, we are in a dire stretch because there's not many of us left.
Right.
And, the public doesn't realize what we do to make sure we have fresh product to go to these restaurants and to the
they just love the shrimp. They don't see
the
all this behind it.
Yeah, and seeing like that, certain people want certain size shrimp now.
Right.
But the thing is all shrimp are good.
Right, I agree.
Sometimes you got to put in a little work to get a medium shrimp.
Right.
Or maybe even a small shrimp. They're good for salads, shrimp and grits.
Right. Love some shrimp and grits.
But if you and you get large shrimp, you can stuff them, you can fry them, you can do a lot of things. And sometimes it just takes a little bit more work to get the medium shrimp and the small shrimp, but the large shrimp are also good too. So
right, no, I get that.
But the thing is we catch all sizes, and I think people have gotten so used to being able to go to a store and buy whatever size shrimp they want.
Right.
And that's the hard thing for us.
Right. So sometimes some shrimp sell more than other shrimp and that kind of stuff.
And then we get stuck. Like right now, they're catching medium shrimp and small. And
right.
We usually can work this time of year. Used to be because people would still buy it because it's a cheaper product.
Right.
And we could put it out to the consumer, for $1.50 a pound, $2, and people would buy it up. But now the demand of shrimp and the prices of the imported shrimp have took a toll on us.
Right.
That the imported shrimp have gotten to where the large shrimp aren't worth a lot either.
Right. Okay,
I
get that.
It's hard for the boats to compete against imported shrimp because of the places, and that's being the president of the Shrimpers Association. You can get lost in where your real goal is,
right?
But the main goal is to make sure that we don't lose any more shrimp boats.
No, and I get that. All right, well, that's cool, and that's a very noble cause, and I'm glad that's a passion of yours. And it really boils down to it really doesn't matter where you live or what you do. This, if you could support your local commercial fishermen, that would mean, a huge amount. To everybody in the area. You're eating fresher food for your health. You're helping them keep their livelihood alive and all kinds of things. So that's kind of what it's going for.
That's the thing is like most of us are all got families and we have to do what we got to do to survive.
Right.
And like right now I took on a job for the Charleston Pilot Office and I'm working there and it's a great job.
Right.
But it's not where my passion is.
No, I get that.
Right here in this chair. Just sitting here with you it just makes me feel great to be on my own boat.
Right now, I get that.
And I'm worried about the future of our industry, and if we don't stick together, and people needing to, and the health of people, if we don't realize that we need to eat healthy food, and a lot of people do want to eat healthy food, but they don't realize that they're not eating as healthy as they think they are.
Right. Just because they're eating a shrimp from the grocery store, let's say, it matters where that shrimp comes from and how far it's traveled.
Yeah,
Like that kind of how it was frozen and
yeah,
all that, or if it was farm fresh or
yeah.
caught fresh. All that stuff matters. So
Yeah, a wild caught shrimp, we go through a lot of difficult things. Like we have turtle excluders and different things like that we abide by, like in the
mm-hmm.
laws in the states. And any state has a federal law of turtle excluders and fish eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is most fishermen put all that stuff in before there was even law
Right.
to keep, because we don't want to catch turtles. We don't want to catch fish that we don't want. That's
Right.
why we've slowed our times down of when we're dragging in the daytime and not at night, because the fish are easier to catch at night. We don't want that.
Right.
We've learned that
And that's
we have
better.
learned to adapt.
Right. And that's better for the whole ecosystem of the waterway, just catching what you're going after. You know what I mean? So
And it's changed so much just recently. The webbing we pull are better. Just the nets that we use is different.
Right. Okay.
But we're going with better quality stuff, and we're spending the money to do it to try to get better results and saving fuel. Like this boat back in the day, somebody might have had it before me. Just say that it was probably burning 12 to 16 gallons an hour.
Right.
I got it down to 6.5.
And that's all by like when you leave the dock, how where
How I leave.
And all that stuff really matters. And it's not just helping the water; it's helping the whole earth when you look at it that way. Low emissions are trying to get the best emissions out of your products.
And just like we went to a call table on these boats that most boats you see in the North Carolina and South Carolina and even in Florida and Georgia, they have what they call a call box that actually has where you can store your shrimp underneath in a slush water.
Okay.
And whenever I catch shrimp and they get them up off the table, in 10 minutes after they're washed, they're in an ice water slush.
Right.
It's below 10 degrees.
So, and that keeps everything as fresh as possible as well.
And I mean, you can pull that shrimp out of there after you worked a full day and come in and pull that shrimp out, and it looks like you just caught it that morning.
Right. That, man, you can't beat that.
And we've all the fishermen have learned it. We know what our public wants.
Right.
They want freshest ingredients that they can get.
They do, and I'm one of those people.
And there's boats in South Carolina and all over the United States now that flash freeze, and that's a great product too, because a lot of people don't know how to approach that.
Right.
Because they're freezer shrimp. But the thing is, they're frozen on a boat.
Right.
That they were 10 minutes. As I put them in a slush tank, they're putting them in a solution that freezes them
right out of the water.
5 minutes.
Right. Yeah. And so it's fresh, still fresh product
yeah.
that can ship anywhere into the
yeah.
world.
Yeah.
So
and
I
there's
get
people
that.
doing it, and I mean, you can reach out all over the world, and the United States has gotten really good about. The fishermen have gotten great about trying to ship shrimp to people that want it.
Right.
And hey, it might cost more, but the thing is we're shipping it to you, and you ship anything is expensive.
It really is.
So I mean, but if you come down and get it off the boat, you can get your price right off the boats. You can come to the fish houses and get, right off the fish houses. And some boats tie up at a fish house, and like Tarvin Seafood, and you got Carolina Seafood,
right?
Here in Charleston area, and then you go down, and you got the Craig Reeves has got a place down there, Sea Eagle Market down in Buford, and stuff like that. And, different shrimp boats are doing different things, and you just go all over the state, and there's places you can buy shrimp.
Right.
And we're going to try to make it even easier, but on the association's website, you can look up on there, and there's a way to look up what restaurants are selling local in the area that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
That's in any part of the state.
Okay, cool.
And it's listed by where you're at.
And I'll put that website in the comment or in the description down below.
And then it's also got on there where you can go to what fish houses too, and where you can go all over the state. Like if you say you're in Buford, it'll give you the place to go to in Buford to buy your shrimp.
Well, that's cool. And like you're heading up all that.
We're trying. Me and my the vice president of the association, we've gotten this going, and we got a team together, and we're trying to make this all work.
Man, that's big steps, Cap.
Yeah, we're breaking down walls that have been there for a while, and we just want to get the product to the people, and just talking to you and talking to different people is getting it out there.
And I'm glad I can help in any way I can. Tell us about the Shrimp and Grits Cook-Off.
Yeah, we want to do. We're on the air of trying to get it together. We're trying to figure out how we're going to do it. I don't know if we'll get it off this year before we can, but we want to do like a Shrimp and Grits Cook-Off to where people can come down and see the chefs cooking.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that it would be shrimp boat captains like me and other shrimp boat people
I'm
that will come
sure,
and
right?
cruise and captains. People that have been cooking shrimp and grits their whole lives. I mean, I can't remember when I started, but I've been doing it a long time.
Yeah, man, same here.
And I want people to come out and see why, meet the captains and the crews and stuff,
Right,
and make teams and make this fun, and also for the public to see. And
right.
we haven't gotten all tatted out when we're going to do it or how we're going to do it yet, but we're getting closer, and
Well,
we'll have it on our website on the Shrimpers Association.
okay, cool. You want to give us a little tour of the vessel?
Sure.
All right. All right. Let's start here in the wheelhouse. Hold on, let me back up a little bit. All right. Go ahead.
So in here, you have all the electronics. You have a computer monitor, and you're probably wondering, why do we have a computer on a shrimp boat? But we use it as a chart plotter, and it gets us to where we can get our marks from other boats to where we don't tear our nets up.
Right.
We have our great TV because you got to have something entertaining. And we have our radar, our depth finder, and our radios, and our GPSs, and it helps us to know where we're at and everything. And our nice, pretty wheel that we drive the boat with.
Right.
And we have a throttle and a gear. And then here's a picture I was showing you earlier.
Yeah.
That's a picture of me and my dad in a wheelhouse. Whenever I started, people ask, when did you start on a shrimp boat?
All right, so you see that one right there? That's when he started.
Yeah, I've been on a shrimp boat a long time. I grew up here, but we'll go back here and I can show you the galley.
All right. Always tools on the boat.
Oh yeah, you can't never have enough tools. So you can see all the different pictures on the walls, and
yeah, let me do this. Swing through.
I like to come on a boat. I grew up on a family oriented boat. You want to be on a boat, you want to feel like you're at home. And that was a meaning to me when I designed what I did in here with a friend of mine. I told him I just wanted it as homely feeling as when you walk in here, you feel like you're at home. You're not that far away from home.
Right. No, I get that feeling.
You have a great galley table that's sturdy.
That's okay. This is a working boat.
It's a fishing boat. And you have a nice area to sit. You can cook your meals here, and there's all kind of cabinet spaces for dishes and everything.
And you see how he used the cleats as the handles here?
Yeah, just trying something different. You walk on a lot of boats, and a lot of boats are the same.
Right.
I want one a little bit different.
Right, you nailed it.
And you can see back here is the head. It's got the head and a shower,
right,
all in one combo. You can sit down and take a shower and
Yeah. And this is a picture of a catch.
Yeah, and that's how clean that we like to catch them. That's a lot of shrimp.
Right.
And then you got your bunk areas back here.
Yeah, I'll do a quick pass through. A lot of stuff, but 2 different bunk areas. They usually roll with a crew of 2 or 3 people.
Two other, me and one other guy usually.
Okay, cool. All right, now we're going to where all the action is.
Yeah. You can look down. There's no light down there, but that's the engine room. And
we'll save the engine room for another time. I got a lot of guys that like the engine room, but we'll wait for us running to do that one.
Yeah.
Okay, what's this?
This is your winch that hauls your gear back. This all ran by the old style way. Is this ran by chain and shaft and PTO driven?
Okay.
A lot of people have went to hydraulics because that's the newer, better way, is what people tell me. But this has been going on for about 50 to 60 years, so I'll keep it this
right.
First.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. When I built the boat, I put it all back, and I have some pictures that I'll send you to let you put on there to show
all right.
how this boat looked when I bought it.
Cool.
And so we manufactured, put the boat back together. We bought it around Thanksgiving, me and my wife, and we ended up putting it back together. And it took us, we missed 1 week of shrimp season.
And you got it all together?
We got it going. It's 3.5 months, plus I was oystering in between that.
Man, you're going to have to take me oystering too.
Yeah.
All right, so how about right here?
Those are your trawl doors. These are what they call a 7.5 foot 36 trawl door. They spread a 60-foot net. And then you got your outringers that come out too.
Okay, so these are the outriggers right here behind me. Yep, they go out right there.
And then whenever you go out to spread everything out, the shrimp nets go out to the end of the outringers. And these are 60-foot specters. They're the newest style. They call them an extended tongue net.
Right.
They're supposed to be a secret weapon, and they are. The
Right.
shrimp doesn't hear them coming.
And they're
Very
strong too, right? We
Yeah,
use Spectre on the tugs too.
yeah, same kind of. It's very strong equipment.
Right.
And you can see that this is our call box. We've the reason the boat looks a little dated is because we haven't worked in about a month and a half because the season is in between, and we're going to start back up here in about a month.
Okay.
So
I will let Mama Myrtle know that.
I'm hoping we'll start in about 3 weeks.
Okay, cool.
And we're just hoping that Debbie didn't bother everything.
Right, yeah. Debbie's hurricane just came through here not too long ago. So anyway, when you pull up the nets, so the outrigger's out, you pull up the nets, and whatever you catch in the nets comes in this general area here.
Yep.
And you pull a string.
Yep. You untie the tail bag that you can see right there.
Yeah.
And I'll actually, hold on a second, I'll let the tail bag go.
All right, cool. Work in progress.
And I was going to explain a little bit about the turtle shooter.
Okay. So he pulls that line there, and this comes down and dumps the shrimp onto the table. Just tying that back off right there.
Yep, and if you look, we have a float to keep the shooter upright.
Okay.
This is the very top.
Gotcha.
Then when it spins around, this is what they call the mouth of the shooter. Everything comes from the mouth of the net, comes to this part. It's like a big tunnel.
Okay.
And the water pressure pushes it down and puts it onto the shooter bars. And if it's too big, it won't go through those holes.
Okay.
You don't see turtles that size that are smaller than that.
Right.
So
I got
the
you.
turtles actually get out that way. And then you get your turtles out, they come out. Then if you get any fish that are too big, like game fish, like a spot-tailed bass or anything, they won't go through either.
Okay, cool. So you're not hurting any of the wildlife.
Yeah.
And it's just the shrimp, trout, and just the shrimp are mostly coming through the net.
And see, this is a fisheye.
Okay.
And see, it's got a hole that the fish can actually get in the bag, and once they're swimming around in the bag there, everything's still alive in the bag.
Right.
And if a fish is a fast swimmer, like all your game fish are fast. So if they do get through, they have another exit to get out of.
All right, well that's cool.
So
yeah,
it's a lot of stuff to save the environment.
Right, and that's what we're all about.
Yeah, the last thing we want to do is hurt anything in the environment.
Okay.
And then for a little kicker for you, when you shrimp, you didn't see this one.
No, I did not.
You know what that is?
No, sir.
You do, but you didn't realize what I'm using it for. That is weed eater string.
Oh, all right.
All right.
I do know what that is.
Yeah. So back in the day, I haven't hung it all over my nets, but I was going to see if I could find a hole. But these nets cost so much. This net right here is $8,000.
All right.
For 2 nets. And the way that these nets are, the sharks, a fish will get hung in the net.
Okay.
Like just say a spot or a croaker gets hung up in the net because they're shiny.
Right.
Sharks go after shiny stuff.
All right.
And so this here, you have it in the tail bag, and this is what they call a chafing gear. And it actually keeps the sharks and other predators from tearing your bags up to get in your product.
Okay.
So
we have chafing gear too. Looks a little different, but same principle, yeah.
And so what you do with this here is you tie this on to keep the sharks, because it's slapping around like this and it's light.
Okay.
And it doesn't hold your net down to get mud in your bags.
All right, that's cool.
So, and a lot of times we even tie knots in it, to make something bigger, to like hit them a little bit more to
deter them from messing with that.
All it does is slap them and then they'll leave.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd never seen that. That's cool.
Yeah, and you'll see how it's hanging on the other nets as it's all
right.
And it floats out away from the back, the chafer net, because the chafer's heavy and it goes down.
Right. All right.
So
let's just take a look at the bow real quick, and then I'm gonna do just so y'all can see the bow. I know I don't want to skip that part. And here we go is the bow and Shim Creek, and looking back at the boat that way, just so you get a perspective of it. So hell yeah, Cap. Well, thank you for talking with us. Is there anything else you think you forgot?
No, just thanks for looking out and following us here because I hope everybody wants to eat some fresh seafood and we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Support your local commercial fishermen.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you so much, man.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.